Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you guys coming back here. I truly appreciate your presence and all the support from my existing subscribers and our friends in the community. If you're new to this video, please feel free to check out any other content and videos we have on the channel. We are welcoming you to the community as well. But today, it is my pleasure to talk about a topic, I guess, being on my mind for a while now, and I believe you guys will like it. But most importantly, Seiko, if you are listening to this particular video, I believe please take my advice for as far as you want, because if you get it right, I truly believe you guys will make millions of dollars on the back of it. Now, first of all, I'm gonna just walk you through on the watches that I have on the table, and we're gonna go through the logic. So when I think there's one particular watch the Seiko could be making today, but potentially they know that's the watch they could be making, but they refuse to make that watch. But if they do get it right someday into the future, I truly believe for the watch that will be an awesome watch that will be purchased and acquired by millions of watch enthusiasts and collectors, and it will be an iconic watch for sure. Now, first of all, the watches we have on the table today. First one is the very familiar Black Dial SKX 007. Without no introductions required, this watch has cemented itself in the history of time. Really is the people's champion when it comes to diverse, affordable, reliable watches. It is truly fantastic. The legibility of it, the iconic status of it, it cannot be ignored for many, many years to come. So we have this SKX 007. The second one that we have here, of course, is another fan favorite, very much underrated and underappreciated. This is the grandfather of the SKX. Really, it is the quartz version. However, this SKX of the quartz version, we call it the 7548. This watch was made in 1981, so it's 40 years old. But guys, you know what? When it comes to time accuracy, it is unbelievable. It hasn't missed a beat since about last 6 months I've had it, and now it is still telling a very accurate time. I think in total over the last 6 months duration, I've never changed the time. It may be loose about 10 to 15 seconds, but that is unbelievable when it comes to accuracy, reliability, and it is truly iconic. Again, guys, a lot of other vintage Seiko automatic has appreciated and acquired much more attention than this one, but I believe the 7548 is really making its way up to the top as one of the most desirable quartz divers, especially if you look at the reputation and the history. When Seiko was releasing this watch back 40 years ago, they priced this watch back in the days at 35,000 yen. Now, if you consider the inflation and all that into today's money, that is I believe between 700 to 900 USD. Now, if you're looking at those costs in today's money, that is still quite a few bit of chunk of money. So that is a very iconic watch to have in the collection. Its quartz is always going to be able to tell the right time, and it's a watch that is highly desired among enthusiasts and the Seiko collectors. The third watch that I have here, again, is different shape, but it's the watch that you guys know. It's a fan favorite. It's been discontinued. Originally it was released in 2018. This is the Seiko SNE 498. We call this the baby tuna. When it comes to color wave and color variant of it, we'll call this the golden tuna. Really, if you study the history on the surface of the Seiko divers of the tuna shapes, were very familiar and very popular. Actually, my mom's favorite 007, Roger Moore, actor Roger Moore, wore the original golden tuna. I believe the model number is 7549. I could be wrong, but of course it was much larger. It was a 600 meters diver's watch. I believe that one was quartz as well. So Seiko, after 30-40 years, so that movie, the 007 that was featuring the Roger Moore, was wearing this watch. I think the movie of that 007 was made in the early 80s, probably 80 or 81. So if you're looking at timeline again, we're looking at 40, 42 years of age for that movie. So the watch really being brought back to life when it mimicked the original design of that golden tuna. So it looks beautiful. It's very iconic. When you have this piece on your wrist, the reliability from a solar standpoint, it's always fully charged up. The lume is amazing. It's always going to be there for you. You don't have to adjust the time. It's really a beater's watch. A pickup, you're ready for action, and there's a history and there's the design language that always going to be appreciated in the long run. So the reason why I have those three watches on the table is to make a point, is that for those each watches, the Seiko has its strengths, and of course those watches are made across different time frames. So looking at watch that made in the early 1980s, this watch was started off its lifespan in the 90s, and we'll have the watch that is originally based on the design, late 70s, early 80s, but really a watch that has been brought back by the very convenient and powerful technology of solar. And this watch was made in the last 10 years. So the reason why I bring those three watches together is to make a point of a watch that is Seiko's not making, but they should be making. And again, I say that right. If Seiko's getting this idea right, they're going to be able to make millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on the back of it. Now, this is the idea. The strengths of the Seiko SKX, as we know, is its undisputed legendary design on what a true diver is when it comes to reliability, affordability, but most importantly, the iconic status of just how, I guess, how people can really relate to it as the watch that get them into the hobby. You look at many people that is collecting, hobbyists and collectors collecting much more expensive Swiss-made. Or when you open up their watch boxes, they contains many watches that cost north of $7,000-8,000 or even beyond $10,000. You will not be surprised that you'll always find a Seiko SKX 007 in the corner of that watch box, whether it's just for the sake of collecting it or just to memorize that was the watch that got them into the hobby, or act as a daily beta. So from a status perspective, Seiko SKX is a watch that Seiko should invested in when it comes to historical design and the future development. That's why they've made a decision to continue its lifespan with the current 5KX. But as we know, this watch has been truly discontinued. They're not making it anymore. And we know the movements in there, the 7S movements, is very old. Is a movement that's going to be out of fashion and out of production in probably the next few years. So we know there is a drawback to the SKX. Even though that's the case, we still have collectors paying $400-500 even more for a mid condition or a new condition of the SKX just to collect in the long term. So we know that's the SKX. Now, I guess that's part of the reason why the 7508 becomes so popular, is because this watch has is SKX DNA from day one, and people realizing how close they are between the automatic and quartz, and people always going to have those two watches in their collection. Both of the watches telling the story of its amazing history, and knowing the history will continue into the future. And then we'll look at the third one here, which is the solar quartz tuna. The reason why I have this tuna again is for a couple of very simple reasons. Number one is telling you a history that Seiko's not forgetting. See, here's the thing. Back in the 2018, they could have made this watch as a reissue on the solar version of that golden tuna, but they simply didn't do so. However, I think that's a marketing opportunity they've missed, but of course not going to get it back again because this watch has been on the market for a few years now. So here's the idea. You see, the quartz is reliable. You don't have to care for the adjustments of the time, right? If the watch run a power reserve and that kind of stuff. Why not making a Seiko SKX with a quartz movement? Keep the same design, keep the 4 o'clock crown, keep its unidirectional 120 clicks bezel, keep the diver style exactly the same, keep the printing on the dial as close as you can, and simply put the solar quartz movements into the SKX. Just imagine that. How cool would that be, right? You're putting a quartz movement into the SKX. I'm telling you guys, you keep the watch on the same design. I don't care whether you upgrade to a sapphire crystal or keep it as a Highlex, but you're simply putting the quartz into the SKX shell, and it will be selling so well, guys. Yeah, you guys will have no idea. That would be the one watch collection that everybody's dreaming of, because every time when you pick it up, you're always going to be able to tell the right time. You don't have to change time there so often. You never have to worry about running off the power reserve. It is going to be a diver's 200 with a screw down crown. You can take into the pool, into the ocean, saturation diving if you will. I'm pretty sure the watch will survive. And it's going to carry that traditional legendary design of the SKX. Guys, what do you reckon? Putting a solar movement into the SKX, then you really are combining all the history heritage of the 748. You are taking advantage of today's highly advanced watch charging technology into a legendary design that would never be out of fashion. So a solar Seiko SKX 007. I'm telling you guys, that'll be a watch that everybody will want to buy because they actually need one of those watches as their beta. So guys, tell me what you think about my idea in the comments. Of course, if you want to give a support, like the video, and I'll truly appreciate that. Okay, guys, and hopefully Seiko will listening in and see what they will do about it. Okay, guys, that's it for today. No doubt I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.